Brenna, through their grief, this family tells me that their goal is to not only get this site banned, but also protect other families from losing loved ones to suicide.
Evan loved the beach, so this is us at in Panama City Beach. I think he was 16 here. We took him there for his 16th birthday.
Evan Peterman's family recalls memories they shared before Evan died by suicide earlier this year.
You can kind of see a difference in
From
the
younger
photos. Yeah, he was even more standoffish, I would say, towards the end.
Following Evan's death, his brother Joseph made an alarming discovery.
We're just trying to piece together a story that doesn't make sense, and that's when we saw the search history and we found that forum page.
His computer was still logged in, so the boys, his brothers, they all kind of just took on that task and just started looking and found that I think the very last thing he looked at was that website.
The chat groups that Joseph found raised red flags as he searched for possible answers.
It was definitely a forum page that, in my personal opinion, assisted in his death.
Some of the site's anonymous users say the site is there for support and they are not pro-suicide, but instead refer to themselves and the site as pro-choice.
The issue that I have with the forum page is the suicide page is the most popular one on the website, with the most posts, with the most active users, with the most people contributing. And that's where most of the details and the instructions and the methods and the compounds that they're selling to minors over the internet to help in their life, that is where all of that is being hosted.
Joseph tells us that what stuck out to him, aside from the nature of some of the chat forums, were that users were helping others get access to a chemical called sodium nitrite, a chemical compound U.S. Congresswoman Lori Trahan brought to light on the House floor last year.
These forums have been instrumental in the rise of suicides using sodium nitrite, a chemical that in its safe, low-concentration form is often used to cure meat and fish. However, in high concentrations, sodium nitrite becomes highly toxic at levels comparable to cyanide.
The United States House passed the Youth Poisoning Protection Act to target the sale of sodium nitrite, but they are still working to make it a law.
Many websites we contacted took swift action to remove listings for sodium nitrite or to restrict sales to businesses with legitimate proven uses for it. Unfortunately, there are currently no federal laws that can effectively stop these dangerous transactions. The Youth Poisoning Protection Act changes that. This legislation would prohibit the sale of sodium nitrite to consumers in concentrations higher than 10%.
Along with the act, other states have proposed legislation geared towards stopping the sale of sodium nitrite or banning sites like the one Joseph's brother had frequented. We learned from the executive director of behavioral health at St. Francis about both the dangers and benefits that stem from sites like these.
These forums are probably designed to provide support to people who have been through that and have had lived experiences, ways that people can keep themselves safe. But I think that there's probably some concerns developing that they might become more of a ways to provide access to means, so methodologies that people that are accessing these forums use to find a way that they might harm themselves.
The site itself is anonymous and has very little precautions in place for verifying age. Users also use code words and acronyms to conceal the true meaning behind some of these chats, and donations to the site are done through cryptocurrency.
The challenges we run into, quite frankly, are First Amendment. How do we balance out the need to protect free speech, but also maintaining that balance of public safety? And if a website is set up for purposes to encourage people to commit suicide or to help them commit suicide, there are laws protecting against that.
Lieutenant Mark Kraft with the Tulsa Police Department says legally police are at a standstill.
Unfortunately, there's nothing I'm aware of that could be done. We wouldn't even have a place to start. Like I said, in our unit, normally, we deal a lot with internet service providers and websites, but we can verify people on those websites. On this website, we can't.
Currently, the site is under investigation in the UK. The site urges users in that area to access it through a VPN.
I want these people to be held accountable
Yes.
because the people on the actual forum, the moderators and even the owner, are hiding behind usernames.
Suicide is a taboo subject. Nobody wants to talk about it, and I think that it should be talked about. And then this website should be talked about.
The website we referenced in this report is just one of many due to the young audience that some of these websites and message boards attract. Experts want to emphasize the importance of monitoring children's online activity and checking in with loved ones. In studio, I'm Lauren Henry, News Channel 8.